Welcome, Shalloners, and welcome, my refugees from the Sister Squad, because today we're going to be talking about James Charles. Not only James, but what we can learn from his basically career implosion at the hands of BFF turned rival Tati Westbrook, and talk about not only how to recognize a manipulative friend, but 4 ways to confront one. Because this is not a James Charles Tati Westbrook problem. This is an all of us problem. All of us at one time or another have encountered someone who maybe started out good, but at some point the friendship or relationship took a turn, and then one day you wake up and you're like, what am I getting out of this? This person is straight up using me for fill in the blanks. And we will. But first, just want to let you guys know that if you want to talk with me privately, the best way to do that is through the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO, and click chat. And you can submit your love questions, family questions, friendship dramas, whatever you want. And I'll get back to you in just a few hours. It's great. And it's like really me, and we're texting. It's wonderful. Also, follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, and click like and subscribe for new videos every other day. Definitely more on James Charles. So yeah. The drama between them, if you're not familiar, I'll sum it up really quick. Now, she did a whole 40-minute video about, like, bye, sister. Love it. And one of the things she talked about was that, like, he's kind of a sexual predator. Did a video on that. Coming soon. And she also talked about how, like, when James was kind of a nobody, Tati, like, helped him a lot. And let me just say that, like, I'm agnostic about these two. I don't follow makeup artists. It's, like, not my world. So I'm not, like, on team one or the other. So I like to look at things as objectively as possible, which I don't always do well, but this time I am. So Tati basically said that, like, when James was coming up, her and her husband, like, helped him a lot. She would, like, give him contacts for brand partnerships and sponsorships, and, you know, set him up with the right people and get him meetings and, like, shove him kind of to the front and be like, look at this little wonderkin. And I want you to know how significant that is. Like, it's a very cutthroat industry, the one that they and I am in. It's this whole influencer space. And this whole YouTube thing is kind of the Wild West right now. Like, it is all developing and changing, like, literally day by day. So we're trying to figure out, sorry, my phone's doing something weird. So we're all trying to kind of, like, figure this out. And it's a very, like, me for myself, you know, like, us versus them kind of mentality, or at least it can be. And my biggest challenge is, like, trying to go into everything with a spirit of collaboration and recognize, like, there's enough for everyone. Unlimited amount of channels, unlimited amount of seats at the table. And that's really hard. And for Tati to be kind of like an early adopter of that mindset, like, really shows her strength of character, and the fact that she is still someone who's up and coming. I mean, she's got like 5 million followers. All right. I would kill a man for even 1 million. I even know which man. Just say the word. Anyway, yeah, the fact that she was, like, still trying to make a name for herself and, like, was helping someone else so much really shows, like, who she was. We also learn a lot about who James Charles is, because Tati's big indictment of him is that he one time said that he wouldn't promote her, like, hair supplement, like, line called Halo Beauty, because he's like, I don't feel comfortable, my viewers are really young, I don't want to promote supplements. All right, like, fine. Then he goes to Coachella and, like, suddenly is posting about Sugar Bear hair, which is, by the way, like, I don't think, like, the best supplement you can get out there. Like, they're delicious gummies, but try Nutrifoil or Ciara Vital if you want really good, like, hair and skin supplements. That's not an ad. It's just my opinion. And so James tried to say, like, oh, they just, like, approached me there. It's like, that is not how any kind of contract works. You know, like, contracts aren't signed at a parking lot in Coachella. They're, like, big things. They take $1 million back and forth. Like, it's not just like, hey, you want to be a spokesperson? Okay, here's $1 million. Give me the hair, blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't work like that. And she's obviously knows this better than anyone, and saw right through it and was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you lie? And, like, not even just lie about it. Why would you literally promote my competitor? If my best friend was like, hey, I'm going to tell all my friends to go to Matthew Hussey's channel, I'd be like, okay, would not be happy about that. So I want to talk about 4 ways to confront a manipulative friend, right? Because we need tools for this. Like I said, we've all encountered someone who's doing this in our lives. And the worst part of it is not that we're being manipulated. That's bad. The worst part, the detrimental part that sticks with us for years, sometimes even a lifetime, is when we don't stick up for ourselves. Because then we're not only angry at the person, we're mad at ourselves for not having a backbone. Like, I can handle being mad at other people. I can't handle being mad at myself and feeling regret and feeling like a wuss and a pushover and doing something that I know is against who I am, what is best for me, what I want, because I let people manipulate me. But it's hard to know that you are always being manipulated, right? Like, manipulative people are very subtle. They're very subtle. A lot of them are complete narcissists. I've done videos on narcissists before. Believe me, I will do more. But like, they have a very like usury outlook. And I don't think James Charles's sugar bear hair thing, I guarantee you that was not an outlier behavior. That wasn't a case of, you know what? This is just business. They're offering me $500,000. She's offering me nothing because she's my friend. I wouldn't charge her. The fact that Tati like snapped the way she did, that kind of tells me that there was a lot more of these kinds of things happening behind the scene. And sure enough, like the fact that so many people have unfollowed him and his career is kind of imploding, that tells me that like she was just the whistleblower for kind of a garbage person, you know? And I don't know, maybe not. Maybe everyone's just a sheep and like Kylie unfollows, so Shawn Mendes unfollows, so so-and-so unfollows, and Jeffree Star comes out of the woodwork, as always, with something to say. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And hive mind is actually not it's not as common as you think. All right, so you got to confront someone. We're going to look at two possible types of scenarios in terms of manipulation. First one is one that I'm super familiar with. Someone using you for some sort of emotional thing. They're always in a fight with their boyfriend. They're always getting dumped. It's like a drama all the time. And you are the audience. You are their drama sounding board. You're their therapist. You're their Dr. Phil. You're their Shallon Lester. It's tiring being me. It's hard to be so smart. That's why I have to eat so damn much. The next scenario is going to be someone who's using you for clout. Basically what James is doing to Tati. Maybe you're the popular one. Maybe you are like reaching out of your social sphere and breaking into the popular group. Like I remember I did this in high school. Like I wanted to be popular. I unapologetically, I was like, no, I want to be prom queen. I was. And like some of my friends, and I wasn't trying to like leave anyone behind. I was trying to make other new friends. And I could tell that some of my friends were using me for like, it's like, oh, well, why don't you go ahead and do all the scary things and make all the small talk and forge these new friendships and I'll just tag along. Like once you've laid all that foundation, I would love to just ride your coattails. That'd be great. And even now, like things are taking off for me on YouTube and stuff. And it's like, suddenly people coming out of the wood are like, wow, you're becoming an influencer. I was like, where were you when I was an editor at a magazine? Not quite as shiny, huh? So the first thing you want to do when you confront this person is stay calm. It's always better to do things in person if you can. If not, that's okay. But like sometimes like waiting for a text message to come through is just like so anxiety producing. And in real life, you can try to connect with this person like on an emotional level. Because here's the thing. Sometimes people don't realize that they're using you or they don't realize it's come to the degree that it has. And every one of us has a drama that we're going to need someone for. When we get dumped, it's like the entire world stops and everything's about us and we got to talk about it to everyone. But those should be like encapsulated incidents. That should not be this person's like default setting where it is always a take. Same with the clout thing. Like I bring my friends to like super high profile events. Like I don't expect them to go out and make those connections. They're lawyers, they're doctors. Like this is what I do, you know, and I don't need like a ticker tape parade thrown in my honor because I bring them to the US Open and we sit right next to Serena Williams' husband. Not like it's a big deal. Not like I'm bragging. But like, I'm happy to do that, you know? And so there's a certain balance to friendships. But if you feel like yours is out of balance, it's time to confront that person. So sit them down and try to be calm. And try to avoid more than anything attacking words. You're a liar. You're a user. You're a manipulator. You're a goddamn mess and I cannot listen to it anymore. That's going to put someone on the defensive. And then if you really feel compelled to say that stuff, you need to ask yourself what you're after. Are you after peace or are you after victory? I was in Army ROTC in college and that's like day one lesson. Like when you engage an enemy, you have to figure out what they're after. Like if they want victory, you're fucked. Like, it's got to be basically like a carpet bombing situation because they're never going to stop. They want peace. You can usually work that out pretty easily and pretty amicably. You know what I mean? So you have to ask yourself that too. Like, what do I want out of this resolution? Do I want to get back to the good place in our friendship, or do I basically want to break up with her? If you want to break up with a friend, you are completely allowed to. Women keep toxic friends far longer than men because we're more pack animal-esque. You know, like, we're the ones who raise the babies. And so we need the village. It takes a village. We need that village. And society also expects us to be like that. Oh, we're the stable friend. We're the sister. We're always here and you need us. It's like, no, I got my own stuff to do. You know, so we feel a lot of guilt to like dump a friend, but you got to trim dead ends, and that goes for hair and it goes for relationships. So say you want to get back to a good place, right? Say that there is a foundation here that is good and things got off course or whatever. Give it the old college try to get back to the good place. Stay calm. And like I said, instead of being like, you're doing this and you're doing that, use I feel statements. When you call me and you talk for 40 minutes about James again, when you do that every 2 days and I don't get a word in edgewise and you never ask me how I feel or how I'm doing, it makes me feel like I'm not valued in this friendship. And like, I could be literally anyone. You know, you could be just talking to a dial tone on the other end. Like, I don't feel like this is a balanced friendship, and that's really what I want because that's what we used to have. Good script. When you, let's see, how can we say, what's a nicer, more benign term than use me for clout? Like, you know, when it seems like you only want to talk to me when I've signed a new deal or when I'm invited to the cool parties or when I'm going, you know, out with this really popular person or that celebrity. It's like, it makes me feel like, you know, I'm just a means to an end. And like, when I hang out with you, I want to hang out with you. You know, and I like our friendship based on the dynamic, and I don't have something that I'm trying to gain just from being friends with you. And it makes me feel like that's not the case. And I don't enjoy that feeling because I do enjoy you and I want you to enjoy me. And it makes me wonder, like, well, if all of that went away tomorrow, would I ever hear from you again? And that breaks my heart to think about. See, those are like non-attacking things that don't necessarily put someone on the defensive. If you can weave in some vulnerability, like, that hurts my heart, I want to be there for you, blah, blah, blah. You can help to kind of like reset things in a neutral manner. Someone gave me the advice once, like, whenever you fight with your boyfriend or your husband, you should always hold hands because it like keeps you connected and like keeps you soft. I can't do that, but God bless me who can. I can't do it. So I made notes. So like, I have to look at my notes because I want to, you know, I want to get this right. All right. Number 2, prepare to be baited. These people know your buttons to push. They've been pushing them for a long, long time, right? Because now you're here and you're angry that you've been like manipulated this long. And they're going to push that button right away. I did confront one friend who basically did like use me as like a therapist over just an endless cycle of dramatic breakups. Endless. And I was like, I can't do this with you anymore. Like, I am so worn out. Like, I don't even feel like you listen to me when I give you advice. And so it makes me feel like I don't matter, you know, like, you don't ask about my life ever. And we used to have such a great friendship. And you know what she said? I'm sorry, but you're just so good at this. And like, I just need someone. So she tapped into 2 different things, vanity and pity. You're good at this. Oh, well, wasn't you put it that way? And then pity. It's like, I need you. I need you. The subtext is, what kind of monster would push away someone in pain? Don't you love me? That's a guilt trip. First class guilt trip. I don't respond well to guilt. It's an emotion I have very rarely felt. I littered once. I felt very guilty about that. Overall, you're appealing to an emotion that I don't have. But I do feel sort of like pity, you know, like, I'm like, oh, what a pitiful little person. And the number one thing that sociopaths want, I say this all the time, is pity. It's not power. It's not revenge. It's not world domination. It's pity. Pity is very, very useful in terms of getting people to do what we want, right? So if that's what they're defaulting to, that's more manipulation. For the person who's using you for clout, you know what they're going to appeal to? Number one is vanity. My gosh, but it's like, you just live this amazing life. And like, I just want to be exactly like you. And I just, I don't want to use you, but I just want to learn from you. And like, thank you so much. They're going to say all those thank yous a little bit too late, right? And again, they're going to tap into your vanity. It's like, you're the expert. You're the number one. People love to feel like an expert, which is a good like networking tactic, like appeal to someone's vanity. Wow, you're the best at this. Tell me everything you know. And people are like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. But that is more manipulation. You got to stand firm. So what you say is like, that's so nice of you to say. And I really appreciate that you like recognize how hard I've worked in this industry, or I appreciate that you like value my advice and stuff, but you got to dig in. But this dynamic just doesn't work for me. It's tiring. It makes me feel undervalued. I literally don't have time to be doing this. I need to be spending my time working on my own thing. Like, that's what I had to tell my friend. I'm like, I don't have this kind of time to devote to you. If one of my followers needed this much time, I would have charged them hundreds and hundreds of dollars by now. Like, I can't be your free therapist. And it's unfair of you to require that of me in order to be considered your friend. Turn it around. Turn it around. Because what this comes down to is an entitlement issue. People feel entitled to my clout, entitled to my advice, entitled to my time, my expertise, and my empathy. And like, no, not if you're not giving that back. If that's not a two-way street, the street is actually closed. There was a rock slide. So turn it around. Be like, I can't do this, and I don't think it's fair. And again, part of the problem is you feel like this is just something I owe you. And if you genuinely do feel like that, I would like to know why. Put that ball right back in their court and see what they have to say. So yeah, number 3 is stick up for yourself. Basically the same thing. Don't put that down. Say, this isn't working for me, and let them know why it's not working. That you're not just being a brat. It's like, this isn't working for a lot of logistical reasons. It's diverting time away from things I need to be doing. And it's also like, it's throwing our friendship out of whack. We don't have a great friendship anymore, and I would like for us to. Last but not least, prepare to deploy consequences. You can say all you want. I don't like this. This doesn't work. Are your actions showing otherwise? People bitch to me all the time about, they don't bitch, there's a valid question, but they're like, I don't like it when my boyfriend does this. I'm like, evidently you do, because it continues. What we permit, finish it, we promote. What we permit, we promote. We teach people how to treat us. And what we tolerate, we endorse, right? People who want something from us, they don't really care about our boundaries. They don't really care if like, she doesn't like this, this makes her uncomfortable. They have a certain like, I don't know if it's narcissism, sociopathy, who even knows? And really, who cares? I'm so over trying to psychoanalyze my enemies. You know what I mean? It doesn't really get me very far. You're either good and you're allowed in my life, or you're bad and you're out. That's all I have time and energy for. And that's where it should end for you too. Don't be like, but their childhood. Everyone has a sad song to sing. And what are they playing on? Pity. See? Don't do it. When you get drawn to that psychoanalysis, it's just pity. Even though we're psychoanalyzing right now, but this is for your benefit, not for theirs. I'm not interested in fixing the people who are mean to you guys. No. Like I said, ready to kill a man. I'm open to suggestions for which one if you don't want to use the one I have on my list. Okay. So the consequences. Yeah, you can like say like, I don't like it, but you have to back your shit up. And it's important before you go into this meeting to not only set up consequences for in your own mind, but you got to convey them. So make these neural pathways ahead of time before you sit down. Because if you try to do this in the moment, you're gonna be like, well, then I'm just gonna, I'm gonna block you. It's like, no, you want to come up with something effective. What I said to my friend who was using me for advice, I was like, okay, well, I need to let you know that I'm not responding to any more texts about this guy. I'm just not. Please don't text me about him anymore. And like, I wouldn't ever want to have to go so far as to like block your number, but like, I can't have text messages like coming through 10 in a row at 3 a.m. over the exact same issue you've been telling me about since 2005, just with a different dude. Okay? You know, and like, see what they say. If they're like, if they're taken aback, like maybe a little splash of cold water is for the best, you know? And if they just keep on making excuses, that's a data point too. That means they're not going to change. All we can do is serve someone up our truth and see what they do with it. Like, well, I'm not going to change my standards and my boundaries and divert my energy to someone who literally doesn't even care that they're hurting me and wasting my time. Why would I do that? It's like, has this person actually showed who they really are via this conversation? Just like, well, you know, I need you. It's like, okay, now you've revealed, you know, this isn't an accident. This isn't something you're unaware of and you didn't have this, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This moment of like righteous horror, you know? You're like, it's horrible. I hope you don't feel like that. And you'll get a sense of that pretty early on, you know? For the person who's using you for clout, be like, okay, well, like, it has to be phrased a little bit differently. Just be like, you know what? Let's not even go to these like fancy parties and like keg stands. My God, I sound like my dad. The keg part. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is they're using me for, take that off the table. Like, you know, let's not even do that. Let's go do what we used to do. Let's go get frappuccinos, get a mani-pedi, and just veg out in the park. And if she's like, that's your answer. She's not hearing the message. She doesn't care. She's going to go right on manipulating you. If maybe Tati had said to James, you know what? Let's not be on each other's YouTube channels anymore. I think maybe I should just like delete all the videos, you know, that you're in. And we should just like focus just on being like friends, not business partners. And if I bet if she said that, she would have seen who he really was. She would have like gotten a real clear picture. He would have been like, no. Let's not talk about business anymore, like ever again, and just be BFFs. People who are using you don't like that. And then whatever the consequence you told them, you got to stick to. And also have a backup consequence in your mind. You are allowed to change the consequences. You are. You are allowed to modify your boundaries as you see fit. Nobody else gets to decide what works for you and what doesn't. And if they do feel like that, again, what is that? More entitlement. More entitlement. You are merely a character in their play. You are an item in their closet. You exist solely to meet their needs. You have no needs of your own. You have no needs of your own. No priorities. You don't have your own closet. You don't have your own play. This is all just their world and you're part of it. That is not something you need to worry. Something. They're a possession too. That's not someone you need to worry about losing. It is horrible to break up with a friend. I'm an only child and my friends are like my family. Like if I say you're my friend, I mean that. And it's like you're my sister. And I've also learned though that like big families can be overrated. You know, sometimes small and peaceful is better than big and crazy. So that's the name of my social game now. If you're not contributing positively, you're not in the circle. Bye, sister. For more, click like and subscribe for new videos every other day. And follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO. And like I said, if you want to chat privately about an issue that's going on in your life, from family to friends to boys to girls, find me on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO. Click chat.